I'd been a user of motorized golf carts for a number of years. I had just purchased a new vehicle when it came on the market, and one night someone decided they wanted my vehicle more than I did, and they stole it. In the back of my car was my remote-controlled golf cart. Upon looking to replace it, I decided I wanted something that was a little more easy to fold up and compact, so I bought another competitive product. It was a bad decision, but in a roundabout way, it was a good decision. I put up with it for about 2 months and ended up taking it back and going back to a manual motorized unit. But once you've used remote, you really can't go backwards. It's like going from a standard transmission to an automatic transmission. So I was on the internet one day and just surfing, and being Scottish, instead of putting in golf cart, I put in golf trolley. And up came the Stewart Golf X3R Dream Machine. So I took a look at this thing, and the picture of it was intriguing to me because it was blue, which is my favorite color, and it had a Union Jack on the back of it, which being Scottish and, you know, Great Britain, so it intrigued me. So I did some research, found that it wasn't available in Canada, but it was available out of Boston. So I called the number, spoke to the gentleman, ended up ordering one. It took a little while for me to get it, and I got it, and I started using it, and it was fantastic. You know, performed like nothing else. But there was a problem, and that was every time I used it, I couldn't play around a golf without being interrupted. People would stop me on the course or come out of the clubhouse, the pro shop, and there would be a group of people standing around it. So this went on for, I think, about a month or so. And one day a gentleman came from 3 fairways over, and he came over with a purpose, and I thought it's because we were slow. And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, we're holding up." He says, "No, no." He says, "But what is that thing you've got?" He said, "I've been looking at it all day." So I explained what it was. And he goes, "Where'd you get it?" And I told him the story. He said, "Well, you know, how do I get one?" I said, "Well, here's my business card." And I was doing something else at the time. So I left there, went to have lunch with the guys I was playing with, and was driving home, and I got an idea. Because the business in Canada had always been built and really run by what we call the garage guys that work out of their house and make money off servicing units, not really selling them. And I thought if someone actually had a product that was a quality product, that was a brand that could be built, was, you know, reliable, and there was something behind it, there was an opportunity. So when I got home, I phoned the U.S. distributor and said, "Have you ever thought about Canada?" And he said, "Well, you know, just like you bought a unit, we sell to Canada, and if you're ever in Boston, come see us." So I said, "Okay." And so I said, you know, we organized for me to drive down, and I drove down and met him and his partner. And they called me back a week later, and they said, "Well, we'll give you the rights, and this is how it works, and you'll buy them from us, and blah, 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 blah." So I said, "Fine." I said, "So when do we go to the UK?" And they said, "Well, what do you need to go to the UK for?" I said, "Well, if I'm going to do this, I need to meet the people behind the product, see how it's made, because I'm going to do this right." So by the time that got organized, I think it might have been a month or so, maybe 2 months, and went to the UK, met, you know, Mark and Dave and everybody at Stewart Golf UK, and came back and just started to build the business. And I guess it was maybe 18 months later that I was effectively selling more product in Canada than they were in the States, and I became a direct distributor, and really haven't looked back since. So everything started I bought the unit in early 2007 from the States, and by the time we got organized, it was the sort of late summer, early fall of 2007, and started out the basement of my house, a little, you know, 7.5-foot ceiling that I used to hit my head on, and it was full of units, and my wife was happy because I had to clean the basement out to get the units in. And I guess about a year later, I had to find the local Anderson distributor so that I could retrofit the chargers I was buying. And when I went to see him, I got to know him really well, and he said, "Well, do you need, you know, if you ever need space?" So he asked me how many skids, and I said, "Well, 2 skids." Well, 2 skids turned into me having more of his warehouse than he did, and we ended up actually moving buildings together, and I was just subleasing space. And last year we moved into a bigger premises, and it lasted 3 weeks because my business had already taken off for this year with pre-orders. So in the end of January of this year, of 2011, we opened up our own 2,500 square foot showroom and warehouse facility. Right now you can't move in the back because we have a lot of inventory that'll be going out in the next week to 10 days. And we're getting new clients every day. And today we just finished shooting a feature for Score Golf TV with Mark coming over from the UK that'll air on TSN. And so the awareness of the product will just continue to grow.
Research and development of the game. Brought to you by Stewart Golf Dream Machines.
I don't think anybody would argue that the best way to play golf is with a caddy, but the days of caddies at golf clubs across Canada, well, they're pretty few and far between. There's not many courses anymore that have caddies. So the next best solution, one of those motorized remote control pull carts. Now, what you may think about those old generation style carts, get those out of your mind because those days are long gone. Stewart Golf has really revolutionized the business, and we spoke with the head of that company, Mark Stewart. Well, Mark, first of all, welcome to Canada, and what you've designed here with the Dream Machine is amazing. The one thing that I think about this is it really kind of opens up the category. When I saw those original models way back 20 years ago, whatever, 10 years ago, they were really, you know, it was kind of like my grandfather would use those. Yeah. But really right now it's a category that's open to everybody.
It is, and it's true that when you say that it used to have a kind of a bad image, the powered cart industry, certainly in the UK as well as here, where it was something that people would say that they needed rather than something they wanted. So it would be they have a bad knee or a bad back or didn't have the energy or something. But we were looking at the whole product thinking, well, you know what, this is actually really good for your game. If you're not carrying your clubs, then you're saving energy and you can concentrate more on your game. So we developed a product that not only performed really well, but people were going to look at and go, wow, I want one of those.
People always ask me about getting into the business, and I really got into the business by accident. For years people had told me you should be in the golf business, but I'd spent my life working in the gift business, selling high-end luxury products, collectibles, working with Royal Doulton and the Walt Disney Company. So I understood branding, I understood brand loyalty, I understood how important it was and what consumer confidence and pride of ownership was. So when I saw the product, I could see that from an engineering point of view what was behind it. And having experienced the downsides and negatives of other products, and some of the other competitive product was good product, but its time had come to, you know, move on and be updated. So people ask me, when they ask me how I got into it, and I tell them, really, when I'm selling the product, I'm coming at it not as selling the product, I'm coming at it from a consumer's point of view. So I know, you know, what I was looking for. I know the features and benefits of the product. I know all about its reliability. We have, you know, our service and reliability issues are very small, and 90+% of our issues we can resolve by speaking with the customer because they're owner use issues. The product's reliable, and it's all in its engineering. And even since I started with the product, the updates we've made have always been addressed about improving the product or anything, the feedback we get from customers. So it's really not a business to me anymore. It's just become what I do, and it's because I'm passionate about the product and I love to play golf. And I guess the prime example for me is I joined a golf club, and when I got there were no Stewart units, and now there's 12 or 14. And sure that it's a byproduct of me being there, but it's also a byproduct of people that wanted to go into the category but didn't see anything that really suited them or was reliable. And now it's not a question of, you know, wanting the product. It's just a question of you know, how does it fit into their lifestyle as far as playing golf and not pushing and really using one of our units. It just becomes a walk in the park. You're out for a walk. People that were so committed to walking and carrying are now using these units, and they're saying they wish they had done it sooner. So it's just perfect timing. It's timing of a product that, with what Stewart has developed, it's come its time, and our demographic of the category was always seen as something for an older person, but because of what we offer, younger people who want to walk versus, say, going to riding are saying, okay, I'm into health, I'm into fitness, I want to walk, I don't want to push, I don't want to carry, this is perfect for me. So I believe that timing and for anybody is important, and I just think I was was lucky to hit on something at the right time.